Welcome to the Market Advantage. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11, bigly 42, off to NY for the Players Conference for DFS. So I'm flying solo today, taking the NBA reins over. Look at some price discrepancies here, and definitely not one for Russell Westbrook, as he is 11K plus on both sides, which is nice. Get that thing up there, make it tough to make a lineup around him, because last season I felt like I had to have him, and I didn't like it. It was not a good NBA time for me. I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed watching him go 30, 10, and 10 or whatever he did each night, but I didn't enjoy digging really deep for value plays there. So looking at another triple-double threat tonight, Rajon Rondo, pretty big price discrepancy on both sides. He's the fourth most expensive on point guards on DK, and the eighth most on FanDuel, because he is 7,600 on DK, just 6,800 on FanDuel. So, you know, you can work Russell Westbrook and Rajon Rondo into a lineup there for sure. You could also do a Rondo Harden route. It's definitely possible. There's some deep value plays I'm going to look at here in a little bit that can help you do that. So definitely a night we want to get some stars into our lineups with those monster floors, because the matchups are very solid for a couple of them. Looking also another value play, but one that's not really on my radar just because he's playing Indianapolis tonight, and that's Zach LaVine, 3,900 on DK, and he is 5,600 on FanDuel. Not a fan because, well, I mean, FanDuel, he's a shooting guard, DK point guard. I'm not going to be paying down at point guard tonight outside of Ish Smith. If I'm going with a three-guard lineup, you know, on DK, or if I want to balance it out a little bit on FanDuel, I think that's my option there. LaVine's just not a great play because, one, Ricky Rubio questionable, but could be back because he was close to being back last night. Also, Indy, not a great matchup for guards there, so I'm not a big fan. Look at another guard there. One I do like is Marcus Thornton. Been playing very great basketball, and you got to like his price on FanDuel, still below 5K, but it is creeping up to 5,500 on DK. So, I mean, the way he's been playing, shooting 47% from the field, you got to like it there. Averaging about 2 steals a game, which is nice. Grabbing a couple boards, a couple assists. He's been playing solid ball, averaging 17 points per game. 5,500 is starting to push it, but I guess, you know, with the lack of options outside of Harden in that mid-range, definitely worth a look on DK, but I definitely do like him on FanDuel with a little bit of a price difference there. Another guy, Evan Turner, 4,900 on DK. Another one who's going to rely on Avery Bradley being questionable once again, but 6,000 on FanDuel at small forward. I don't like that. I do like Evan Turner at shooting guard, though, on DK for 4,900. I think that's the way to go tonight if Avery Bradley does sit. We should know about that one because that one's at 7:30, so definitely want to keep an eye on one of those things to, you know, keep checking Roto World for, because I would love to get some Evan Turner in my lineups. I think that's going to be a great high total game. Plenty of options on both sides. Looking at another small forward, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, not necessarily saying play him, but I mean, Cleveland NY had some nice fantasy scoring the last time, and it was kind of going Braun and Melo back head to head. Melo 8,300 on DK, still not a bad price for him. I mean, he's been averaging close to 40 fantasy points a game, and you know, he's a high volume shooter. Back at home against Cleveland, you know, he put up, you know, pretty close to 45 fantasy points against them last time, so a decent floor there. You know, outside of that, I mean, on FanDuel, I'm not really looking at him just because that price tag is 9,400. 800 more, you can get LeBron, or 300 less, you can get George. So I'd rather go that route. Melo not really on my radar for FanDuel, but DK, if you want a tournament play, I mean, price is there, 8,300. It's not bad. He's got a decent ceiling. Floor has been pretty solid this season as well. Andrew Wiggins, got a difference because he's shooting guard on DK and small forward on FanDuel. 6,400 on DK, so not bad there. Sits in that nice mid-range. But he's up there, 7,200 on FanDuel. You know, I think there are some solid mid-range guys. You got Gordon Hayward coming off a nice night. Danilo Gallinari, one guy I like as well. Marotic, Aminu, you know, Ariza. I mean, there's plenty in small forward to work with for value there tonight. So I think that price at 7,200 against Indy. I mean, there's only one guy I'm really targeting tonight against Indy, and that's Karl Anthony Towns, because they've been awful against centers this season. So I want to think about there. And looking at Zach Randolph, The guy's been up and down, but when he's been up, he's been very up. He's 7,000 on FanDuel, but he sits at 6,200, sorry, on DK. Coming off a nice couple of games, and Portland's kind of lost some size down low with Myers Leonard. I think you're going to see guys like Randolph and Gasol kind of go to town against Portland tonight. And at their prices, Gasol's another one, 6,700 on DK, that I think you really got to look at because, he's still 7,300 on FanDuel, not a huge difference, but I mean, still 6,700 for Gasol, and we know his upside is he went 40 plus fantasy points in his last game. Definitely an option there. Gobert, another one, if he's healthy, 7,700. You gotta like that on FanDuel there. I think he's a decent price if you want to take a risk, but he's better fit for DK here tonight because 6,800 double bonus because he's not a big scorer, shot block. I think you give it a go. Kind of depends on how healthy it is because the matchup is good. Orlando doesn't have a lot of big men. Vucevic, not a great defender. Rebounding's been average. So I think 6,800 with his upside, definitely worth a look if he's healthy and one to really keep an eye on as well. Jumping back to power forwards, I just want to talk about something here. A really nice range of guys, starting with Kenneth Faried, Serge Ibaka, Dirk Nowitzki, Nikola Mirotic, and Mirotic, sorry, and Julius Randle, Zach Randolph, Ryan Anderson, all sitting within 6,000 to 6,500 on DK. You can make a really nice balanced lineup with a couple of those guys there, all in great spots. I mean, Mirotic gets Charlotte, not a great defending team against big men. Julius Randle went off against Dallas last time. Dallas is dead last against power forwards and by a wide margin. Randolph, talked about him. Dirk, shooting the ball very well, been rebounding well, averaging 33 DK points. And Serge Ibaka, one guy I really like tonight with his blocking upside. I think he's going to be a little bit more involved in the offense. Plays Philly. They're down there in the bottom 5 against point guards. And moving over to FanDuel, I mean, the prices aren't that bad either. 6,900 for Ibaka, Dirk, 6,700. So all still in that range of really, if you can make a balanced lineup and kind of squeeze maybe a guy like Westbrook in with 2 of those guys and maybe a deep value play and then balance elsewhere, I think it's the way to go tonight. I think that's going to be kind of the key is that power forward spot with a lot of those mid-range 6,000 to 7,000 power forwards. So that's going to wrap it up for the Market Advantage. Check out all our content and tools at dailyfantasycafe.com. Great stuff, NBA, football, you name it, it's up there right now. Definitely give us a follow at DF Cafe on Twitter.